Hello, greetings from the west of England, Area 2, where I'm the area coordinator, and Florence Chibawa is the newly appointed area coordinator for women's ministries. Today, it's my privilege to introduce the names of the recipients for the category of Extraordinary Women for Area 2. But first, a bit of background. Area 2 covers a huge chunk of southwest England, 100 miles from Taunton and Salisbury in the southwest to Cheltenham in the north. It includes the cities of Bristol, Bath and Gloucester, and the dynamic town of Swindon. From the rolling hills of the Cotswolds in the north to the Quantock and Mendip Hills in the south, this is a beautiful area with spectacular views over the Bristol's Channel to Wales at Weston-super-Mare. Here in Area 2, there are nearly 900 Seventh-day Adventist members spread across 19 churches, companies, and groups who love the Lord God and Jesus Christ. The church in our area is a real A to Z of countries around the globe, with members from Argentina to Zimbabwe. There's even a Portuguese-speaking church in Swindon. From a women's perspective, 2020 has been very challenging. In addition to the more public roles that God enables women to hold in the marketplace, in the church and in the community, there are, of course, the many private roles that women play on a daily basis in the home. They're often the prime educators, organisers, counsellors, encouragers and spiritual nurturers, and every day they juggle the roles of teacher, chef, taxi service and diplomat in our families. At a time when many have been struggling, this ministry in the home has been even more critical than usual. Professionally, many of the women in our church in Area 2 work in the major hospitals. They work as medics in frontline services, on COVID wards, in theatre, as nurses and doctors, in the labs, in radiology or elsewhere, and have had to deal with the realities of donning hot and uncomfortable PPE equipment for long hours in a dangerous, distressing, and often scary environment. Only God is able to get them safely through the day. Many others work in care homes and have often had to work very long hours as their colleagues fell sick or were forced to self-isolate during the pandemic. And we could mention the many women who work in schools, food manufacture, postal services, and other essential roles that have kept life as normal as possible during this period, often at their own risk. Thank you to all of you for your courage and commitment in a crisis and for reflecting God's love to the people you serve. In church, many of our church leaders are women. They are elders, treasurers, church clerks, leaders of the personnel ministries department, Sabbath school teachers, children and youth ministries leaders, leaders in the social and welfare ministries, deaconesses, leaders of Pathfinder and Adventurers, and of course, involved in women's ministries. Many of them have a powerful evangelistic ministry in their own right. This year, while pastors were furloughed, they served as the dynamos of church life and activity, providing care and nurture to many people. We'd like to salute in general the lady elders of Area 2, in particular Ruth Oman for her energy in shepherding the flock in Bristol Lodge Causeway, Cynthia Southcott for helping to steer the ship in Weston-super-Mare in the absence of a pastor and keeping excellent church minutes, Ilona Jackson for helping the church community in Croscombe stay connected, Liz MacDonald from the Cheltenham Church for her mobilisation of the whole church to produce some fantastic virtual programmes during this period, Shellen Rodney from the Swindon Old Town Church for her exceptional leadership within the field of youth ministries, which led to a wonderful weekend virtual youth programme, Sarah and Joanna Shepley and Kavir James from the Cheltenham Church, and Molly Johnson from Weston-super-Mare and Vanya Matthews from the Highbridge Church plant for their central role in producing Christian music under Project Up and raising more than £3,000 for ADRA in the process. Patricia Asamoah from the Swindon Church for her amazing nurture of the children to produce a remarkable child-led week of prayer, featuring child speakers for a whole week. Dr. Anke Lemkool for her advice to all the churches on all aspects relating to mitigating risks from COVID-19. And a special mention must go to Cindy Marbena for her exceptional commitment as a Bible worker in serving the churches across Bristol right through the first wave of the pandemic. Finally, other women have been very active in serving in the community during this time. Special mention goes to Sarah Hurlow from the Bath Church for supporting an elderly neighbour who lost her husband to COVID-19 and who was also hospitalised. Precious Masuku, the church clerk from Bath, for keeping in contact with all the members and being the church mum, despite suffering badly from chronic health issues herself. As a church, we want to say thank you to the many women in our area who've proved faithful to the Lord and the church in this time of crisis. Now to come to the special category of extraordinary women. These awards are made after input from the churches and the Area 2 Women's Ministries Coordinator Florence Chibawa. All are women who are very dedicated to the Lord and I'm sure would give him all the glory. And the awards are as follows. Mary Phillips, the Health and Community Ministries Leader in Bristol Central Church, who has helped the church be active in the community through promoting exercise, working with local GPs, introducing the Life Colours programme with Dr. Chiddy, and much else. Janet Lawrence from Bristol Central, for always being available for all church members and very helpful in times of illness and grief, as well as for her inventiveness and general sense of fun in keeping the church happy in Bristol Central with Monday Nights Live. Esther Williams from Swindon Church for her exceptional leadership skills in encouraging others during this time, especially in the field of prayer, the 100 Days of Prayer, and personal ministries. Marika Piparinen from Salisbury Church Plant. Now, Marika comes from Estonia. She was baptized around 3 years ago. After her baptism, she really got involved with our evangelizing work in the background, quietly, to support God's work wherever she can. Beltrish Avanco, who is from Brazil, and she is noted for leading the personal ministry of Swindon Portuguese-speaking church, giving Bible studies and bringing spiritual support to many people in Swindon. Hilda Barabbas from Salisbury Church for galvanizing church members from across many churches to witness and distribute books in city centres during this time. Suku Nkomo from the Gloucester Church for her sensitive and dedicated leadership and commitment to the homeless community in Gloucester at the Gloucester Church Soup Kitchen and Food Bank. Finally, I've been asked to identify projects implemented by women this year, and two deserve special mention. The first is A Cuppa with Jesus by the Bristol Central Church Ladies. On a Sunday afternoon, women gather together for a drink at a weekly dose of prayer, inspiration and discussion at the feet of Jesus. They've been meeting without fail ever since the first lockdown in March. Secondly, special mention goes to the Gloucester Church Soup Kitchen and Food Bank project. This remarkable project provides food and other forms of support to many people in Gloucester 3 times a week. It's staffed by volunteers, many of whom are from the community itself. As well as Suku, who coordinates the project, specific mention should be given to Sarah Weaving, who's not a church member, but who works tirelessly to provide advice and material support to all those people coming into the centre. We want to say thank you to all the dedicated women from Area 2 and wish you all a Happy New Year under the Lord's protection.